Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about OKRs. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, if a software engineering team is unable to fill their quarterly OKRs, does it mean that they have failed? Yes, but we don't like to say that out loud. It depends on the company culture. I was into the States not that long ago and visited Silicon Valley to meet up with some coworkers in one of the companies there, and I noticed that the blameless culture is less established. For me, that's what I felt at the very. I was talking to we were at the next to we were running around between Apple, LinkedIn, and Netflix, and like by my company and so forth. And we were meeting some people, and sort of I got the sensation that the blameless culture was. I now understand why some people find that is difficult to sort of see that going on. For me, it's like here in like my little part of the world where like everybody is trying to just accommodate everybody else all the time, even outside of work. It's very easy to like you don't want to talk about failure. You don't talk about people doing a bad job. That is like the biggest taboo that you can. You can never hold people directly responsible for doing a really shit job in Sweden. That's as I said, I've said this before. It's more important to be nice to people than it is to be effective. In many cases, I'm very sorry to say. And so here you don't fail. But what you can do, which is the thing that most people will do, and this is I don't just do this here, they do this all over the place, is that why would you wait to fail your quarterly OKRs? Just massage the numbers so that they mean the thing that you want them to mean. That's what everybody does. Literally I've never seen it not happen. So what happens is that you define OKRs very ambitiously in the beginning of things, and then the closer you get, usually now, depending on, and this is sort of a failure of higher management, depending on how they want to deal with this, which is sort of that's the whole problem, right? If you can't stick by what you wanted and what you want to deliver, and you don't understand value, you are going to start redefining things until they fall in your favor, which means that this is what happens in politics as well. How do you make yourself successful under all circumstances? Well, it's very easy. You just change the scope of what you originally said you were going to do, and then you try to bend words until it means the thing that suits you best, so that you never failed. You just got quote-unquote new information, or the situation changed. It's still liquid, except you can make up any words you want, but if the value and the actual deliverables are not there, you did fail. It's just that you're going to hide it with the semantics, which is what most people do. So when the closer they get to failure, they will start trying to tweak the definition of their OKRs so that they don't have to stand there and say that, yeah, we failed. But the reality is that they did. And so this is why I try to get people to understand that you have to make because this is just, of course, based on my insight, and I'm not saying that this is right. I'm just saying that's what I've been seeing. To some people, it matters a lot what the end number is. And what I mean by that is that some people it's very important to them to be able to show that they've done a good job, because it feels bad. Because the reality is that if you have an OKR, such as, I don't know, we're gonna fix world hunger, and you say that you're gonna meet your, what is it, the 75% is that's where you should be aiming, or that's where you should be landing. If you even make it to 50% of that, well, that is, in my opinion, a whole lot of a higher achievement, even if you've quote-unquote failed, than getting to 100% in, I don't know, not eating boogers for a year. It's different levels of challenge we're talking about, and this is why I think that because to some people it is very important that they get a good number, so that they can get patted on their back or show off to their managers or so forth, get the recognition. And in some cases it's also mental. It's not always about just getting external recognition. Some people that I've worked with, they feel bad if they fail at a task, and I always try to I'm the worst person when it comes to pep talking, because it's so rare that I feel like I look at things for what they are. This is sort of how I do it. I don't usually get pep talks myself. I don't really feel like I need them often, because I always sort of had this, I don't know, way of looking at things, and when I try to explain it, I hope it makes sense to people. What I've tried to explain to my coworkers, who are usually like a little bit sad over that they're failing, is that I try to tell them that, dude, we have worked our asses off, because there would be no way for you to do anything else, I promise you, because I would not accept it if I'm the team lead, for example. Like, I know that you have done a good job. I can vouch for everyone and every one of the people in my team. We have done everything we can. We have abided by the best, most modern day practices. We've done everything in the way that it should be done. If we have failed, then then the real question should be here: could anybody under the same circumstances have done a better job? And I've always basically come up with the same answer. It's very rarely that someone could probably have done it. It's not that we're perfect. It's just that the problem that we're facing is so monumental that if we even fail by a little bit, we have still succeeded more than the people who did an arbitrary thing that is basically worthless, that met their goals and so forth, because their goals are those goals are a lot easier to achieve than some other goals. And that is the thing that you should measure yourself against, not some arbitrary number. That number is just a measurement for how far you've gotten, but it doesn't mean that it's equal to the others, because, as I said, the different tasks are different. They have different levels of complexity and different value levels. So 10% in something is a whole lot more important to achieve than 100% in something else. And if you think about it that way, then the only thing that really matters to you should be, I hope, how much value have you produced? That is what is important. What is the measurement, the tangible thing? Because, as I said, 10% in this area might have increased the revenue for the company by a whole heap, yet on that little quarterly demo thing that we're running, where we're showing how everybody has done, you may not stand there and say that, yeah, we could have done better, but you might be standing there feeling shame over that you didn't meet the same criteria, but the other people that had circumstances where their goals were so simple and that didn't make any difference to, say, revenue or something else, that it didn't really matter. And it's only in a company where nobody really understands the difference between perceived value and actual value where this becomes a problem. And when you emotionally detach yourself from this idea that there's a number of OKRs that actually means anything, and you actually just look at the output, what have you actually done, then this number, which is what I try to tell people, these are supposed to be mental frameworks. But when they become a source of stress for you, and you're actually trying to, it's sort of like you're trying to cook the books or cheating with your taxes or something like that for your own goddamn, if you're trying to massage the numbers in your own company, trying to tell yourself that you sold for more than you did, where there is no money, like you're not laundering anything or something like that, you're basically just tricking yourself into thinking that you've sold more than you did, that all you're doing is you're just drinking your own poison, you're only hurting yourself. And that is what happens when OKRs become more important than output. When you try to massage the numbers and do all this stuff, it's more for you than it is for anybody else. So what I want you to take away from this is that, well, technically, yeah, if you don't meet your OKRs, you have failed. But as I said in my little rant here, OKRs it's a measurement tool. You can create OKRs that you will always succeed. You can always change the OKRs so that you will always succeed, and you can always set them up so that you will fail, because they're just a way for you to set a joint goal. And when you understand that it's just a way for you to sort of define the direction that you're going to go for, and that the thing that matters is not the number you end up on, the thing that matters is how much value did you produce. When you understand that difference, you don't hopefully feel so bad if you don't meet those OKRs. And only a quote-unquote stupid person can see the difference between a team who does 10% but increases their revenue by I don't know how much, versus a team that meets all their OKRs and basically didn't change anything, didn't make any impact, and the difference in value there. So that's the way I suggest that you think about OKRs. They are a mental framework that is supposed to give you direction, but when you try to treat them as the end goal, you have lost the correct perspective, in my opinion. Have a great day.